Today on the podcast, we're talking stand-up, Louisiana, and toys for tots. This is the Kansas City Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm a host with the most, a good friend of Ned Yost, Cole Lindbergh. You know, many of you know me as the man with no plan. And if it's not, it's nice to meet you. You know, each week here on the Kansas City Podcast, we are joined by a one-of-a-kind KC native for a conversation on life in the city of fountains. What do you think about that?
I think that I'm not a KC native.
Well, you know, we can. There's a lot of different things that can qualify you as KC native. Because how long have you been in Kansas City now?
A year and a half.
Okay, that counts.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. You know, and we'll get to your introduction in a second.
They call me a KC veteran.
A KC veteran. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, today on the podcast, I'm in the West Bottoms. I'm in a beautiful little spot, a little recording studio, little fun, nice little space here, and I'm here with the stand-up comedian, competitive eater, because he just downed an entire breakfast platter. Stephen Taylor. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Well, no, I'm very happy to have you here today. You know, we've got a couple housekeeping things to cover, because you are going to be performing. Well, you perform all the time, but you are going to be performing at the KC Improv for the Ho-Ho-Larity for charity.
There's 3 hoes in that.
Oh, it's 3 hoes in there.
Ho-Ho-Larity for
charity. And that's benefiting Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots is at the KC Improv.
December 5th.
December 5th. There's a lot of Nick Nichols is on it. So he won the Clash of the Comics last year, which is the local contest that the Improv puts on.
Okay.
I came in second, so you got the...
Okay, so I got the runner-up.
And the winner.
And the winner. Okay.
You've got Merritt Lemons, who's open for all kinds of... I mean, she opened for Marin.
Yeah.
She opened for Pablo Francisco.
Okay.
Just a big name. Ryan Thorson, who's putting it on, so all shout out go to him. He's been getting all these people... I don't know what he's doing. He's doing a lot more work than I've ever put into anything in my life.
So he's very committed. He's wanting to make this a big show.
Yeah. He wants to raise as much money as possible. He's gotten the Royals to donate stuff for silent auction.
Okay, so it's not just a night of comedy. It's a whole big ordeal. I mean, it's at the KC Improv.
It's a whole big ordeal, but come for the kids, stay for the comedy. And Alfonso Zapata's on that too. He's very new into comedy and also one of the funniest people I've met.
Good.
One of the only new comics I like.
All right. So December 5th, where can they go online, find tickets? Do you have any idea?
God, I'm the wrong. You can go to Facebook, look up Ho-Ho-Larity, add me, Stephen Taylor. I'll be sharing it, I'm sure. There's just Google. Look at the KC Improv. They're a big thing.
Or you know what? You can go to the Kansas City Podcast website, and we'll probably have a link up too.
That's true. Or you could just show up on December 5th. Is it December 5th?
It is December 5th.
It's December 5th.
Yes,
you could show up on December 5th.
Steven's still waking up. He had a long night last night. He just downed an entire breakfast platter.
It was delicious.
Thank
you, EJ's.
Yeah. Now you are not from Kansas City, so let's start there.
Correct.
You're not from Kansas. Where are you from? Because you don't have a Kansas City accent. You have a kind of a southern kind of drawl. Is that what you'd call that?
I mean, that's what they call it.
That's what they call it. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Louisiana. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm from Louisiana. I'm just from Louisiana.
You're from Louisiana.
24 years in Louisiana.
24 years in Louisiana. And so I guess the big question is, why Kansas City? Why are you here?
I used to do politics.
Okay.
Like campaigning and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not very stable because, campaigns end. That's the thing about
Is that how that works?
Well, you set your job up to know that you're going to lose it.
Okay.
As soon as it's over. There's nothing.
Yeah. So whether you win or lose, it's still over.
You're out of a job.
You gotta, right. Good point.
And so I found there was a job that was going to pay me salary to do similar stuff up here.
Yeah.
And my wife works for CenturyLink.
Okay.
And they're around here too.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, we can get out of Louisiana, get into it. And so we just immediately were like, yeah, we're going to move. And then we moved.
Now, were you always into stand-up comedy, or did that start when you came to town?
So I didn't do it until I came to town. I was obsessed with stand-up pretty much throughout college, early high school. I remember middle school, like I had Dane Cook's Vicious Circle. I got it for Christmas.
Yeah.
I just remember like getting different DVDs or CDs. So I was always obsessed with it, but nobody in Louisiana, like where I went to college, nobody gave a shit about stand-up.
So wait, no one. So Louisiana, not a stand-up comedy place.
Not North
You know
Louisiana.
what? Not North. Oh, okay. So we're talking
Basically Arkansas.
Okay.
You're talking, yeah.
Yeah.
Arkansas with better food, like is North Louisiana.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I've been obsessed with it forever, and there was nowhere to do it. And then when I moved up here, I was like, you know what, you're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I couldn't stop doing it. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I can't do anything else now.
Okay. That's all you do.
It's literally my only passion in life now.
It's
my wife, comedy.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, that's
And
all.
breakfast platters.
And breakfast platters from EJ's Eatery.
Early in the morning.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? How's it going so far? How do you feel? You know, I've had a couple different comedians on the show. I've had Matt Keck on the show. I had Patrick Poe on the show, but we were talking about his film stuff.
Yeah, what bad people.
Yeah, I know. Horrible people.
Can you name the Stephen Calls Out Kansas City comics?
That's what we should do the rest of the show. You know, I should start naming names and be like, that guy's an ass.
Oh, dude, I could do that. I can't do that, but I could do that.
You could, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been here a year and a half. Mm-hmm. You're doing open mics all the freaking time.
Yep.
You got the Ho-Ho-Larity. I can't say
You added a fourth ho.
I added a fourth ho. What? How you feeling about it? Do you feel like the Kansas City comedy scene? What do you think? Is it growing? Is it fun? Is it just a tight knit group of people? Break it down for me.
It's actually all three of the things that you just said.
Wow,
so
good.
it is.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
What
you're
can I
very
say?
good at this. I don't know how you got so good at this.
I don't know.
So
I'm really good at leading questions, aren't I?
just softballs to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here you go, Steven. Here's our softball.
Watch me hit this one out of the park.
Go for it.
So it is growing. From the time that I've been here, I've seen it grow into like maybe not necessarily just in size, but in numbers of like talented comics.
Yeah.
Like people that are actually like.
And obviously we've already established you're number 2.
Yeah, number 2, based on the eyes of, so many people. God, I wish that thing mattered more than it did. I won that, and I was like, this is going to give me a lot more work. I got second. I was like, I'll get a ton more work. And
nothing.
No more work.
See, that's sad.
I mean, it's not, though. Fuck comedy contests. Comedy contests are the dumbest thing in the world. It's like, how funny are you? Are you the funniest? Are you the absolute funniest? The guy that wins the comedy, you know what it is? It's American Idol. You get one good one. Kelly Clarkson was fine. Carrie Underwood, 10 years later, is all right. Yeah. But everybody else in between eats shit.
Yeah, Taylor Hicks.
Yeah, who cares
Soul
about
Patrol.
Yeah, dude, gray soul hair. Oh my God.
What was that other guy? There was another guy from Kansas City that won that.
Was Taylor Hicks from Kansas City?
No, Taylor Hicks wasn't from Kansas City. No. There was a guy from Kansas City won. David Cook or whatever. Didn't he win?
Ugh, I don't know. I hope not. I hate that name.
I don't. Yeah.
David Cook.
Yeah, he's not a cook. He's a singer. He should be David Singer.
David. I hate that joke, but I like it too.
See, there we go. See, so what I'm saying is that now I if I can make you laugh, then obviously I should be doing the comedy thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. 100% go for it. I'd love to watch it. I'll film everyone you do and put it online.
Yeah, it would be fantastic, wouldn't it? How would you say that your comedy? What's your influences here? Who you got? You mentioned Dane Cook, but
yeah. I mean, Dane gets shit.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to cuss on your podcast?
Yeah, you can curse. It's fine.
Okay. If you have to edit it out,
no. Say what you want.
If like Dane gets a lot of crap and not the best comic.
He did this. What was the stink finger? What did he call it?
The super finger.
Super finger.
Sufi.
Not stink finger.
Sufi, where it's like a weird.
Yeah, like. That's all I remember about Dane Cook.
That's all you remember about Dane Cook?
I remember that, and I remember that he had like big, huge. He had a big, huge comedy show where the stage was in the middle.
Vicious Circle. He did it in Madison Square Garden.
That's
and
right.
He does a 360. That's the thing about Dane is that nobody else could ever do what he did.
Right.
Like it was just for that time he became a rock star in comedy to the point where nobody even had to hear his jokes. Like he didn't have to worry about hecklers because like
he was in a giant arena.
Yeah, he's just yelling. It's so
yelling.
much of him.
Yeah.
Just kind of like being honest and yelling and like so much energy that you just don't get. I do have a little bit. I've got energy on stage. My big influences though, like John Mulaney is probably my favorite comic.
Mulaney's great.
Mulaney's so good. Patton is good. I really dig Maria Bamford.
Yeah. You watch Lady Dynamite?
I don't. So I don't have any because that just recently came out, right?
Well, they had a first season like last year.
Yeah.
And then the second season just like started up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like no time to really watch TV anymore.
Because you're busy doing open mics?
Because I'm busy. So I have my day job, and then I have comedy, and then I have this whole enterprise.
Oh, yeah. Should we talk about this enterprise? I mean, I kind of mentioned it. We're in the West Bottoms. We're in the Bond building in the West Bottoms.
In the what building?
What, Bond?
The Hobbs building.
Bond, whatever.
Bond building sounds way cooler, though.
I thought you know why? It's because I was thinking Bond Bridge, and I got that confused. No, so the Hobbs building. Mm-hmm. Sorry, the Hobbs building in the West Bottoms. And what do you want to say the name of this place? It's Barrel
of the Bottoms.
Barrel of the Bottoms. And
we'll play on words there.
Yeah, I like it. Tell it what it is.
We started as a group of guys that had some podcasts, and we were like, wouldn't it be fun if we had a network?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, with a network would come a studio. It was like, well, we should build a studio.
Yeah.
And then we kind of found this place, and we built the studio, and then we made it an office for creative people to come and write stuff. Or, I mean, I guess if they wanted to draw stuff, there's a stage for people to work on material. We have a green screen.
Yeah.
For people to film. Like, we're just trying to make it a...
It's very cool. It's a cool little cozy spot. I like it. I like it a lot. We're getting to use the cool little room here. And so if I sound even better than I normally do, it's because we're in like a nice actual
studio.
like an actual studio.
Not just in a warehouse with a recorder.
Exactly, right? That's because I'm always traveling around and visiting people, so I don't know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, like a couple weeks ago, I was in Uptown. I was at Uptown, and I was working, was doing an interview with David Hayden at Uptown, and we went to like the deep, dark recesses of Uptown, you know? And so we were on the other side of the wall where like the Iron Man machine was. So every now and then you just hear, you hear just like some noise and be like, oh, okay, great. And then the phone would ring or whatever. So if people listen to that episode, I think in the background they can kind of hear some arcade games.
Oh, I bet that'd be fun though.
Well, no, it was a blast. But then like, when I'm sitting down editing, I'm like, all right, shit. Do I need to edit out the phone ringing in the back? But now when we're in here, it's quiet. It's quiet.
The only thing you're gonna hear is the table.
Yeah, the table. Yeah.
My chair. I don't know why I sat in this chair. I know this chair's loud.
Squeaky a little bit. It's fine.
Like anything you do. Now I'm gonna try and make it do it. It's not gonna do it.
But. No, it's fine. If people hear the squeaky chair during it, then it's okay.
Yeah, it's not me.
So we talked about Ho-Ho-Larity.
Mm-hmm.
We've mentioned your influences in comedy. Where do you think this can go? Where you want to take this? Do you want to be your own vicious circle, Steven? do you want to grow to that type of level, or are you just having fun? This is a very deep question.
Kinda. It's also the most fun I've ever had doing anything.
Okay. So you're going to keep doing it?
For sure. My only goal right now is to see the people that I think are talented, myself included, succeed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means, but I think I'll know it whenever it happens. Like, I think as long as I want this to be my full-time job.
Yeah.
I want to not have to work a day job.
Okay.
I want it to be comedy related. I want to do stand-up. Stand-up is my goal.
Yeah.
But, like, the more I do this, the more I'm like, whatever I can do to just have comedy be full-time, supports me, pays the bills, however that can be, like, that's going to be what I go for.
All right, well, then here's $1 million question.
Uh-huh.
Because I've asked this to other comedians before. Does that mean, can you accomplish that here in Kansas City?
That's why we built this.
That's why you built Barrel of Bottoms.
The whole reason why I built. So when I got into comedy, you got a bunch of old school folks that are like, you got to move to L.A., you got to move to New York, you got to move to Chicago, or you're never going to make it. And, like, I sat and I thought about it for a while because I loved this city when I moved here.
Yeah.
Like, when I moved here, immediately fell in love. Then my wife moved here, and neither of us wanted to move here. We wanted to move to Denver.
Yeah.
Because it's Denver. Like, it's so much better than Kansas City
And there's
in
legal,
the mind.
and there's legal weed.
I mean, that's cool too, but it's also, it's the mountains. It's everything about Denver.
We were thinking about putting a mountain over in Independence.
God, that would have been a great...
Independence Mountain.
Yeah, that'd have been wonderful. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
They probably would have put a Confederate flag on it. They weren't even a part of the Confederacy. They're just like, yeah, but you know who we really like. You know. You get the gist.
Yeah. So you built this place to succeed here in Kansas City.
Yeah, because, I mean, we loved Kansas City. Kansas City's growing. Millennials are growing here because it's cheap to live. They're just like me and my wife, like, cheap to live, fun city, local stuff. And those are the people that like comedy and like film and TV and all the things that we like. And so the more people told me you had to move, the more I was like, fuck you. Like, I don't care what... I don't... No, you don't... You have no idea what you're talking about. Like, the internet changes that. The internet changes how you can make it and what you can do and how you can have success. And so you just got to be funny. If you're funny now, you can make it out of anywhere.
Well, yeah, you can find any spot to be funny and just push it out anywhere.
And so it was like, if we get people together that are talented, you know, I haven't just reached out to every single comedian in Kansas City and been like, hey, will you come? Because people have to pay memberships to be here.
Yeah.
You know, the office space is like a DIY, you know, space, but this is like a...
Yeah, this is like a studio.
A studio.
A full-on studio.
But, you know, I didn't want... Even if they're paying so that we can put stuff in here, like cameras, like to film stuff and... green screens and lights and all the stuff that we're trying to build that we're just too poor. We don't have the money to do.
It's very DIY right now.
Yeah, it's super DIY. And it looks nice for what we've done, but it's always going to continue to grow. But yeah, they just... I haven't reached out to every single comedian and been like, hey, do you want to pay us? Because I don't care about the money. I care about, like, are you talented? Do you care about this? Like, do you want to do it? And so I think it's just, if you get creative people and talented people together in one location and you just say like, hey, what can you come up with? They'll come up with a lot of really good stuff. And I think it'll be a lot of really funny stuff. I think the podcast we've seen have been just like extremely funny.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of local podcasts that record here.
There's a ton.
Yeah, I mean, they come here and record and get stuff out. I mean, I guess technically you could say that I'm recording here now for this.
I almost put you down on our schedule.
This is smart.
Yeah, I almost put down the Kansas City podcast, but I didn't want one of my other guys running it to be like, hey, who the hell is this?
Who's this guy?
Who is this? We don't have his money.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to say I'm doing this for free right now. Thanks, Steve.
No.
But I'm giving you a nice little PR bump. You're getting the Kansas City podcast bump. Moving here from Arkansas,
Louisiana.
Sorry,
North.
You mentioned Arkansas
Basic
earlier.
Arkansas.
Okay,
yeah.
basically. Okay, so moving here from Louisiana to Kansas City. What's the biggest, craziest difference between North Louisiana and Kansas City? I would feel like, in a sense, maybe there's some similarities, but like we've already mentioned, like the arts and the comedy stuff and everything. But like, was there any like big culture shock when you got here? Like the big difference between the two?
The difference is, okay, to be honest with you, so casual racism isn't as much of a thing here. And I don't say that as like something I miss. I don't want you to misconstrue that. But like friends from back home, family members, like you talk to older people, and like it was like weird how much casual racism is just like...
You're right.
Like the N-word isn't something that's like just shied away from, you know, maybe not in the public sphere, but like in conversations with 5 or 6 people, it'd be like, oh, I hate these. And you're like, what? Like I always had a problem with that.
Yeah. It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it was always just so weird. And they always tried to justify it for whatever reason. Chris Rock has that joke, and it's like, you're not Chris Rock. Dude, you're not.
No.
But when I got here, it was the first time I had been in an area that was like really liberal. Like, people were like, hush, hush, we don't say anything bad, which I'm much more comfortable in.
Yeah.
I'm much more comfortable in the watch your words, don't offend people, try and live a nice, like, why would you try and offend people? That is the area that I'm more comfortable in. But it was a culture shock of just like, I felt I had to walk on eggshells, even though I never said anything really offensive to begin with. Yeah, it was like a weird thing. That and nobody dips tobacco here.
Oh, yeah, people dip tobacco here.
It's not like a huge thing.
Oh, is it like crazy huge down there?
Yeah. Like
I mean, I'm from like North Kansas City, like north of the river, and like
I'm sorry.
kind of in the country.
Do you need me to talk slow?
No.
I could slow it down if you need me.
No. I'm all right. I'm still. Well, you actually might need to. I've already screwed up the building we're in, and I've screwed up, where you're from.
Ho-Ho-Larity comedy festival.
We'll just keep adding ho-ho-hos to it. So okay, but people still dip tobacco. That's the thing. Because I still consider kind of Louisiana still kind of Midwest almost in a sense. No. Okay, well then I'm an idiot.
No, it's
more south.
It's super south. It's like I mean everything from the politics to the culture, the food. I guess culture's food. Those are together.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing.
Then I'm going to say music too. Yeah, basically just culture and even the geography of it. Like it's everything about it is super, super southern.
Well, and then you make your way into Arkansas and everything gets real scary.
Scary and also like, have you been to Little Rock?
I have not been to Little Rock.
Little Rock's a fun time. Arkansas gets a lot of crap because people have seen The Descendants or whatever. Yeah. But like it is a fun area. We had to go through there. I did a show in Ruston, Louisiana at the bar I worked at in college, and you have to go straight through Arkansas, like all the way through the Boot Hills, and you end up right across the Arkansas-Louisiana border is Ruston, Louisiana, this small college town. And we were in Arkansas for too long, just nighttime driving through these foothills, and you would just like feel like you would just hear a banjo out in the wood. Yeah, and you're just like, here it goes, man. Here's how I'm going to die. But we had so much fun on that trip. We went to Bentonville, Arkansas. Yeah. And
that's where Walmart is.
Walmart's from there. So they also have the Crystal Bridges, which is an art museum that the Waltons cure. I guess they just pay for it.
They put their name on it.
Yeah, and then they also there's like a comedy scene in Bentonville that's like good. Like Raj Suresh runs a club called The Grove. And it was like one of the most fun shows I had ever been to. Yeah. Like it was just like so well done. And like they have a scene, he just had a special come out. So like when you find, like comedy gives me the ability to travel and just find like.
That's what I was going to ask about because it sounds like you're traveling a little bit.
A little bit. Like I'll be in Unionville, Missouri tonight. Not a big comedy town there, not a big comedy scene.
But they're going to come out in droves.
Not to see me, but they will have to see me to get to. That's my favorite thing about not being the headliner is you have to see me.
Yeah, like you set the precedent for like the evening, and you are required viewing. You like there's no way they can get around. I guess they could step out and then come back in.
They could step out.
But you are like the guy. You're like the appetizer.
So, do you have any idea who Jared Myers is?
I don't know. The name sounds familiar.
Jared Myers is a comedian in Kansas City. He goes viral on Facebook. He's got some of the best internet content. Like he's just really funny. And he got me a gig opening for. Have you ever seen the Trailer Park Boys?
Yes.
So he got me a gig opening for Randy and Mr. Leahy.
Wow.
At the Aftershock venue in Kansas, which is like this butt rock venue. Like Chevelle probably headlined there back in like 2016.
Seeing red again.
Yeah. And it's standing room only, and this crowd is just Trailer Park Boys fanatics, and they're hammered. And Jaren's this clean comic, and so a girl gets up before me, and her closing joke was that she stuck her hand in her pants. And she pulled out Skittles and threw them on the crowd, and she yelled, "Taste the rainbow, bitches!" And everybody loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. They were laughing. I get up, and, like, people are swaying in the crowd. They're so drunk. 5 minutes into the show. Like, it's just Trailer Park Boys fans. They're just...
Yeah, they came to party.
They're lunatics, man. Yeah. It's just Mardi Gras for them. And so I have a pretty good set because they're more my audience. You know, the Southern thing I kind of can play too. And
yeah.
I can access that. I made fun of country music. They were just, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And then I said, are you guys ready to see the fucking Trailer Park Boys? And the whole crowd, 250, 300 people are just like, yes!
Yeah, they're freaking out.
Yeah, like losing their minds. And I said, well, you're going to have to wait just a few minutes to talk to my good friend Jaron Myers.
And so then he got booed off the stage.
Dude, they hated him. They could not. His face when he just like dropped. And I went to shake his hand and he wouldn't shake my hand. He just goes, I hate you. And
so then when he gets out there, if he's a clean comedian and he just kind of did not connect with the Trailer Park Boys audience. Did he win him over in the end? Or?
So he wins them over, but they're a shitty crowd by that point because they've just been bamboozled. And no crowd likes to be bamboozled.
So you're the asshole.
Oh, yeah. Jaron's one of my favorite people. We're also giant douches to each other.
Okay.
Like, I make fun of him all the time. He makes fun of me all the time. And that was just, like, the most beautiful thing that I could have given to him at that moment was, like, here's a memory you're not going to forget. Like, you're stuck with this for a while.
So he's going to be getting back to you is what you're saying.
Oh, for sure. That's probably why he hadn't booked me on another show.
You know, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here with Steven Taylor on the Kansas City Podcast. It's that time again. Taking a deep dive into some reviews. Here's a new one. Interesting concept and guests. 5 stars. What I like about the Kansas City Podcast is that it brings on interesting guests you wouldn't ordinarily hear from. They're not athletes, media members, or old money KC. The guests are everyday Kansas Cityans. You know what? That's right. They are. And that's what it's all about here on the Kansas City Podcast. Remember, you write a review, let me know about it, and maybe I'll read your review here on the show. Love getting reviews. We love hearing how we can improve the show, how we can make it better, how much you hate my voice, all of those wonderful things. So keep them coming. Back to the show. Welcome back to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm here at the West Bottoms, here at Barrel of the Bottoms, with Steven Taylor, stand-up comedian extraordinaire.
Hello.
He just put on some sweet shades. He's sitting here like he's just kind of like, I'm too cool for this. Are you too cool for this?
I mean, I don't want to say I'm too. It is in my own studio.
Yeah. So you can kind of like play it up a little bit. The Ho-Ho-Ho-Ho-Ho-Larity for charity. Rapidly approaching December 5th.
Coming up quick.
It's getting closer by the minute. Remember, you can check out our website for that. During the break, Steve and I were sharing some jokes back and forth, and I got to tell you, his country music jokes, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They're solid jokes.
Yeah.
Do you want to share anything with any of the people out there?
The last time I did a country music joke, it involved the Las Vegas shooting. So I think I'm going to stay away.
You're going to stay away from it. That's probably a good idea.
I don't want to put that on record.
Steven, it is time for one of our favorite parts of the show. It is actually time for the KC quiz.
Okay.
All right, Steven, you know how this works. Here's the deal. I'm going to ask you questions, Casey related. This would be an interesting conversation because I've lived in Kansas City my whole life. So I have very, specific things in my mind, of like Kansas City related stuff. But you, being a newcomer to the city, I'm qualifying you as a native because you're on the show. Okay. But it'll be interesting to hear some of your thoughts on this, all right?
Okay.
But here's the deal. I will ask you some questions. You get points, okay? Points are available. If you do not like the question, all you have to say is, stupid question.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can definitely do.
And then remember, folks, if you want to have your question featured on the KC quiz, you can always tweet us at Kansas City Pod. we're going to start with the basics.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does anybody ever tweet you?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. There's a bunch on here. I will point them out once we get to them.
Yeah. Ask me one from somebody that exists.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I will.
I'm gonna call it a stupid question. But
We're going to start with this one. This is the main question we always ask everybody.
okay.
Your favorite restaurant that's not barbecue?
Favorite restaurant that's not barbecue?
Yeah.
The Lunchbox.
Okay. What do you like there? Give a recommendation.
They have a Philly cheese and they have a chicken club.
Okay.
And it's like $6, and their fries are dank.
Dank
fries.
Dank fries.
They do the sugar and the salt thing.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
such a fan of that.
Yeah,
that just
that's-
really.
Yeah, that hits the spot. Okay. Favorite barbecue?
Favorite barbecue.
Okay, now this is good though, because does Arkansas have barbecue?
Louisiana does. Louisiana does have barbecue. Arkansas, I mean, who knows? They probably don't. They don't really have a ton of teeth.
I just want to point out I did that one on purpose.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I
okay,
did.
good.
All right. I did that one on purpose.
You know what? Stupid question.
No. You got to come on now.
Favorite barbecue. All right. I'm going to catch flack for this.
That's fine.
Anybody that doesn't say Q39 is stupid.
Okay.
And they're just mad because, yes, it's like the gentrification of barbecue. Like if barbecue could be like personified as gentrification, it would be Q39. Like it's very uppity barbecue.
Yeah.
It's very good barbecue.
It's not there's a big difference between going there and like getting served versus going to like a gas station.
If you're and if you're gonna go to like, I mean, any of the gas station, like the Joe's and LC's and the Arthur Bryant's, like I'd probably say Joe's, but I'd be tempted to say LC's.
LC's is good.
Yeah,
I like LC's.
I like LC's too, and I like that it's like low key. It's just like. I like anything with the checkered paper.
Okay.
That's my.
But you're going Q39.
I'm going Q39, hands down, the best barbecue I've ever put in my little southern mouth.
Do you have like a favorite dish there? Or do you get like the choose 2, choose 3? What do you
And
do?
I get the burn-in burger.
Okay.
Usually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like I like their sandwiches. I like their regular meats too. But if I'm gonna get that stuff, I'll go somewhere else. I like sandwiches and.
All right. You get 5 points for that.
Cool.
Your favorite bar? You got a favorite bar?
Mockingbird Lounge.
Okay.
The Mockingbird Lounge on Orchard Street in Strawberry Hill, Kansas City, Kansas, has the best view in the city. Like, they just got a great back porch. It's a really low-key, nice vibe. They do a lot of comedy there.
Yeah.
A lot of weird events. They do Morty's and 40s on Sundays. And so they get 40 ounces of beers, and they sell those, and then they have Rick and Morty on the TV.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a fun bar.
Oh, no, Rick. Morty. All right. That's my Rick and Morty impression.
Did you really got to get out there? You really got to.
Morty, I don't know what we're going to do.
Justin Roiland would be so impressed.
All right, here we go. Your next one. If you're going to the bar, let's say you're going to Mockingbird, right? You got a favorite local brew you're going to drink? No? You kind of winced a little bit.
Yeah, I winced because, like, immediately I want to say Boulevard, but it's not Boulevard. Their wheat sucks.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
Is
a
it
hot
really?
take. Oh, yeah.
I feel like anybody I know hates Boulevard wheat.
Really?
It's such a boring beer. It's like nothing. I don't know, man. I'm going to get preachy about it, but, like, it's just, for how that was talked up to me.
Oh, okay. So it was like you had like hyped it up in your mind, and then when you had it, you were let down.
I like hops. I think I like hops. I like darker, or even like a Belgian, like Blue Moons. I like Blue Moon more than I like Boulevard wheat for sure.
Okay, got it. I give you 2 points.
I'll take that.
This is a Twitter question.
This is a Twitter question?
Yeah, yeah. Who let the dogs out?
Stupid question.
All right, here we go. Moving on to the next one. Let's see here. Your favorite? Do you go to a lot of shows? Do you go see local music, or do you got like a favorite venue you like going to?
Favorite venue?
Yeah.
I should say Barrel of the Bottoms. But
Barrel of the Bottoms counts. I mean, that's
we only do a show every 2 months.
okay. Then it doesn't count.
But it is a fun show. I think my favorite right now is probably the Rhino or Mockingbird. Like Mockingbird does like low key shows, like you could probably fit 25, 30 people in there.
Yeah.
But the Rhino just has such a good setup, and it's run by such good people.
Yeah. Ben Wint, he's been on the show. Ben, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's great. That dude, have you had the food at the Rhino?
I have not yet, no.
Go. Don't go for a show. Just go and be like, hey, can I get a Philly cheesesteak?
Yeah.
And they will give you it is just the most immaculate. It's giant fluffy bread. It's got the steak is just shredded, but it's just like packed in, and then they just dump cheese on top. And I've never enjoyed a sandwich more.
Okay.
Than at the Rhino, which I was surprised by.
Okay. 5 points for that. Here we go. Your next one here. You are a Kansas City implant. You're new here.
Uh-huh.
Do you have... Wait, what's the one thing in town that you've gone and done that has been what's the one thing everybody needs to try in town, or the one thing that you've done or gone to that you're like, hey, this is pretty cool. This is like a cool Kansas City type deal.
I think First Fridays are always cool.
Okay.
First Saturdays.
First Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the West Bottoms thing.
Yeah.
And I think anything in the West Bottoms is what I'm really attracted to.
Because you're here all the time.
Well, but it was before that. Even before we built this is the reason we built it here, is because it was the West Bottoms is sexy in all the right ways. There's weird little places that shouldn't be open.
Yeah.
The Ship is one of the cooler bars in the city. God, I may say the Ship is my favorite bar, but it's too crowded sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't like crowded bars.
You want to go in and relax.
I just want to go in and not be next to somebody's face, and I'm like, I don't know you, and I also don't care about your existence.
Here we go. Next question. This is another Twitter question. Are you ready? Can I have $5?
Yeah, you can have $5.
Sweet, thank you. I'll give you 5 points for that. 5 points for your $5.
I'll take that.
Here's another question that was sent in. The greatest Kansas City athlete of all time. You like sports?
I do like sports.
Do you got a greatest KC athlete, or are you a Chiefs guy? You a Royals guy? You a sporting guy?
So I'm gonna be a sporting guy.
Okay.
I say gonna be because I've never watched a single game, but I look forward to it a lot. So I like soccer.
That counts.
Yeah, I like
soccer. Okay.
And I don't already have a team.
Okay.
So it's sporting's gonna be there. Now in football, I had the Colts before I moved here.
Well, I figured you'd have the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I prefer.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's an Arkansas thing again. Never mind.
I was trying to think of what Arkansas State's. There's an Arkansas State University, and they suck at everything.
Okay. But that wouldn't really matter because once again, as it was established, you're from Louisiana.
Yeah. But I like. So I like the Colts and I like the Braves. And now that I've been here, what happens is when those teams suck, as they do now, I just I'm like, oh, I hope the Chiefs do well, and I hope the Royals do well. But my favorite athlete.
Yeah, you got one.
Do they have to be from here, or do they have to have played
here?
Sure,
it doesn't matter. You're going for points.
I'll say played here. I'm gonna go Bo Jackson.
But there we go.
Yeah.
Yes. There we go. Another Bo Jackson person. Yes.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, how are you gonna? And it depends. Favorite athlete, maybe George Brett, just because he's funny and wild, and you didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I just think Bo Jackson was a freak. he could have done anything.
I think that's a great question. I'm going to give you 15 points.
You hear that, baby?
Your favorite place to hang out that's not here.
Good point.
You got a favorite hangout that's not Barrel of the Bottoms?
Or a bar. Oof.
Or a bar. Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, you got any other spots in town that you like going to, hanging out?
Mockingbird is always, dude.
That's the third time you've said Mockingbird.
I'm just gonna keep Mockingbird.
I'm just gonna award you 1 point for
that.
No.
Hold on. Let me think about it better. Let me think about it. Let me. Where do I like to hang out?
That's a great question. That's why I'm asking it.
All right, stupid question.
Here's a regional thing. Is it pop or soda?
It's Coke.
It's Coke.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a
real
Louisiana
quick, will you
thing?
flip on that on-air light?
Yeah,
I don't want to interrupt your kid. On the table.
Where at?
On the table. There it is.
All right.
Just so when people come in outside, they know that.
Got it.
My favorite. Yeah, it's Coke.
Pop or soda? It's Coke. Why is it? Is that a Louisiana thing?
I mean, maybe. Everybody I know just calls it Coke.
Okay.
Like if you're like, hey, I'm going to go into the gas station. What kind of Coke do you want? And then somebody goes, a Pepsi.
Ah, okay.
Like that's just, I guess sometimes, it's never pop. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
It's always Coke, sometimes soda, never pop.
Got it. Let's see here. I'm going to give you 4 points for that.
Okay.
Pretty good. What's Kansas City missing?
Kansas City.
What do we need? What are we missing, man?
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's a big word.
It is a big word. Yeah, you're missing infrastructure. You got to be able to transport.
Teleport?
Yeah, no, it's
Damn.
something new. You know,
I agree.
New York's,
Teleporting, yeah.
New York's working on it, but all the hobos keep masturbating on the teleportation devices, and it's getting outlandish.
So they're not getting much use, is what you're saying.
No, I think the ability to transport people from Waldo to Westport to downtown,
Yeah.
like that line would be so beneficial to the city. As far as like commerce, you'd have more people that are able to go and do things because, like, let's be honest, spending money on Ubers and Lyft or drinking and driving, all three very expensive.
Yes. And not fun.
No.
And not smart.
To take a Lyft or an Uber. No. Dude, every Uber I take, I pass out it. I have a 4.5 on my Uber rating.
Really?
Yeah, because if I'm ever in a position to take an Uber, it's like I'm really drunk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shouldn't even ride home with a friend. Like, I need to go with just a stranger just to take me to a destination.
Yeah.
And I'll sit in their back seat, and I'll put my head against the window, and it's usually kind of cold on the window.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cold here.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of like drift off. And then when you get there, they're like, hey, you're here. And you're like,
Yeah,
awesome.
That's a good question. The weather, we're in Louisiana, you didn't get snow, did you?
we would get snow like once every, like a snow that stuck
Yeah.
once every 2 years. And it would stick, and it would just be the most horrendous snow.
Yeah.
Like it was like, it doesn't stick, and it's not like kind of powdery like
Yeah.
it can be here. It's like just like really hard ice. Like you can make snow clumps. You can't make snowballs. Like you can just force them together. Like,
So coming here, I mean, it's already freaking chilly out.
yeah, it sucks.
You sucks. You're not a fan.
No, dude, my wife loves it now.
Okay.
She's become a cold weather person.
Yeah.
Like you can see, I'm wearing long johns under sweatpants,
Okay.
and it's what, 40?
Yeah.
It's freezing. Like,
See, and I'm wearing just a hoodie.
Yeah.
It's great.
dude, anything below 50 for me is uncomfortable.
Okay.
Now I do look good in a coat, so I enjoy that. You know,
Multiple layers.
Yeah, a little chubby guy looks better in a coat, like always. I have a pea coat that I wear that I'm like, this is nice. I have a scarf that I've never pulled out, but I bet
If you put the scarf on,
I could pull it off.
you can pull it off. I'm going to give you 5 points for that. Here we go. It is time for the Google Challenge.
Oh no.
The Google Challenge. It's
Okay.
pretty intense here. So what I have done is I went onto the Google machine and I typed in something,
Okay.
phrase, right?
Yeah.
And I let Google autofill the phrase. Okay, so you have to complete the autofill. Are you ready?
Okay.
There's a lot of points on the line here.
Okay.
So I typed in jokes are, like jokes, A-R-E. Jokes are
Offensive.
offensive.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Why do you think that's what people are Googling?
Because I think people are, and they're like, why are jokes offensive? And then you also have alt-right people that are like, why are jokes offensive? Like,
Yeah.
I think I think that would be I'm playing Family Feud, not what I would put. All right? I'm going for points, baby.
So it's actually jokes are like frogs.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Why would it be like that? Jokes are like frogs.
Jokes are like frogs. They're pretty good in water, but they're better on land.
See, and then I went down. Well, no, see, and then I went down the rabbit hole. And I was like, why is this the first thing that's coming up? And there's some like weird Reddit post where it's like jokes are like frogs because as soon as you dissect them, they're no longer funny.
Oh, yeah.
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 Which makes sense.
Sometimes.
Yeah, so you get 0 points for that Google challenge.
I'll take that.
You know what? I'll
Offensive.
give you one. I'll give you 1 point for that.
Okay, creative
Let me
thinking.
add up your totals here. 5, carry the 1, 25. You're at like 32.
Oh, what's the highest score you've gotten?
50.
50?
Yeah.
That must have been Ben.
I don't remember who it was, but I'm sure it's on the leaderboard on our website because that is a thing that exists.
Do you have a leaderboard?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
With
People
just-
go look at it all the time.
Yeah.
It's the most important leaderboard in the entire world.
That's going to be the next question.
I'll add you to the leaderboard.
Thank you.
All right. Steven, thank you for taking the Casey quiz.
Thank you for having me take the KC quiz. I don't think I had much of an option, but I'm glad I got to do
All right, we're back here with Steven Taylor. We're here at Barrel of the Bottoms in the West Bottoms in a beautiful recording studio. There's lots of very nice things. Steven and I, we've been hanging out, been having a good time, but we are nearing the end of our time today.
Oh.
There's other people that got to come in and record.
Yep.
They got to be here.
We're doing our podcast after this.
Oh, you're doing your podcast.
That hasn't released yet.
Oh.
We're backlogging 6 episodes because we know we're lazy. And it's
Smart. So you got 6 weeks.
Well, yeah, none of the things that we do, like we're not having anybody pitch,
Yeah.
what show are you going to do? Because honestly, nobody cares that's listening to it. But like they're not, unless you're like Pete Holmes or Mark Maron or whatever, you're not going to go see their show just because you heard it on a podcast. But yeah, so it's been easier to just like, I think this will be our 4th. And then we got 2 more, and then we're going to sit down and edit them,
Very nice.
put them out.
So let's give the people, the listeners of the Kansas City podcast, give them, this is your time to shine.
Okay.
This is your plug section.
This is it.
You need to sell them not only on the Ho-Ho-Larity show. You need to sell them on you, where they can find you, find Barrel of the Bottoms. You've got many different things to check off here. What do you got?
All right.
Here's
Here's the deal.
This is important.
First things first. If you care about kids at all, especially kids that don't have sweaters,
You're really hitting them in the heartstrings.
kids that don't have coats or pillows or blankets or homes, and they especially don't have toys, if you care about those kids at all, you will come to the show. I know that's probably not the best way to pitch a comedy show, but they need
it's
our...
a funny pitch.
It is a fun pitch. Yeah, sure. But come to, there really are. There are heavy hitters on the show that are really, really funny, and it'll be a fun time. I think it's only like $5 or $10, like to support kids. Like we're not getting paid off of it. We're just doing it for the kids. Do it for the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could say that in the entertainment industry anymore.
Yeah, that's a good
I think
point.
that's a touchy subject right now.
You better change your plug.
Yeah. Change it real quick. Barrel of the Bottoms. Also, that event is on December 5th, I think.
Yes, it is. Yes,
December 5th.
double checked.
I'm doing a roast battle November 25th at the Arts Bar with Lucha Raptor, which is Matt Keck's group.
Yep.
Which is it's always the most fun time in the world. It's just comics that know each other, shitting on each other.
Yep.
Can't be better. Barrel of the Bottoms at Barrel of the Bottoms with 1 L in Barrel. That's on Facebook, Twitter. It's like Barrel KC, Barrel of the Bottoms. You can find it. It's not hard. It's a big round logo that looks like a barrel.
Okay.
Um,
And people can come here and record, set up times. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they can set up time. If they want to do voice acting, if they want to do podcasting, if they want to just like lay down beats, like you could rap. No, there's not a big place for
I'm
guitars.
all about laying down them beats.
You look like a Beats kind of
I'm
guy.
a Beats kind of guy.
Like
yeah.
a Beats by Dre. Like
Yeah.
you're
No, I don't wear those. I just lay down beats.
you just lay down. Yeah.
I just always all the time. It's like boom, pch, boom, ch, pch,
I'm gonna give you 3 points for that.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna give you can be on your own leaderboard now.
I'm on the Beats leaderboard. It's the most important leaderboard that's out there.
You got to add that to your website now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a ton of stuff. We've always got shows that are coming up, and we usually try and go all out for the shows. You know, we'll do the best comics that we know of, you know, because we only do them rarely, and we really don't advertise them that much. We try and make it feel like a house party, like an invite. You know somebody, that's how you got in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
It's
want
like a secret password.
Yeah, I really don't want to like blow people up about another comedy show. Like everybody else already has that. And those are usually good, but like we just wanted ours a little more low key, you know, just hang out, see probably some of the best comedians around the area. You know, we pull from Des Moines and Chicago and We've had some LA people.
Nice.
But yeah, the website, barrelofthebottoms.com. And then my Twitter is at Stephen G. Taylor.
Are you funny on Twitter?
Kinda.
Yeah?
I'm not huge.
Did you get 280 characters? Did you get the upgrade?
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. You got more room to tell jokes now.
Great. That's what we need.
Yeah. That's exactly. I was just thinking the same thing. Everybody on Twitter, the thing that we don't need now is to be more concise.
Yeah.
We need to expand.
Yeah, we need to go. Yeah, you know everything you hated about Facebook? How your aunt would just post the most random ramblings? Well, here's a lot more of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't stand that idea.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
And then they did it for just verified people, wasn't that something?
For a while, yeah, it's bad.
Oh, nothing like setting us up into classes.
Remember, folks, you could find me, if you want to hear my 280 character ramblings, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Lindbergh. Make sure to check out the website, thekansascitypodcast.com. You can link us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Kansas City Pod. We will post the links to the show coming up, the Ho-Ho-Larity show with all the comics and everything. We'll post that information on the website and on our Facebook page. Steven, anything else you want to send the people home with?
Hey, stupid questions, guys. Maybe that's not the nicest thing to leave with. I've really enjoyed my time here.
Okay.
Thank you for coming down and sitting down and talking with me.
Yes.
Come out to the show and check out all of the really good real quick.
Here we go.
Fuck Stanford and Sons. If you saw what they put out, they don't represent Kansas City comedy. They don't represent us. They're all scumbags that ran that club, and that's the reason that it's closed down 3 or 4 times. They defended Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And it was a huge nightmare, and people were posting all over the country about the Kansas City comedy scene.
Yeah.
And I've never been more upset about anything in my life. So real quick, if you're listening and you work at Stanford's or you like Stanford's, stop it.
Yeah. I saw it too. This is bad.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it's allowed to exist. They're going to try and open up downtown, and they've lost all comic support. Not like they had much to begin with.
Yeah.
But I'll go on record and say that I hate them and who they are as people, and that they don't represent any of the really talented comics that we have in the scene who understand how to be, I don't know, decent people. We're all, most of us are pretty good folk. Yeah, that's what I'll leave your audience with. That nice little, that wonderful smiling bit at the end.
We're all about bringing little nuggets of joy here at the end of the Kansas City podcast.
Yeah.
Steven, thank you for being on the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will see you next time. Bye.